Thank you, Sandro. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation to speak to you all and present the ILO Fair Recruitment Initiative. And before I start, I wanted to also congratulate you on your new code of conduct, which, if we were going to define what fair recruitment should constitute of, I saw all the new elements are very much there. So I won't waste your time on trying to tell you what fair recruitment looks like or is. The first slide is really to put, show why we need to care and look into having a structure that promotes and encourages and creates a conducive environment for fair recruitment. Because currently, in the world we have 232 million international migrants and 740 million internal migrants, so that's huge. We have 21 million, and that's a minimum estimate of ours, of the ILO, 21 million people in forced labor and trafficking today, and of those 9.1 million, or 44%, moved either internally or internationally looking for better employment opportunities or employment opportunities, period. We often find that migrant workers have borrowed money to move either internally or externally, and we know that our research has shown and concluded that borrowing money increases the vulnerability of the job seekers, of course. And of course, that debt bondage is a huge problem today, and contract deception is also a huge problem, and again increases the vulnerability of the job seeker. So now that we know, the context of the Fair Recruitment Initiative, what are the main pillars of this? Working with Ciett, we launched this with other partners in 2014, and the 4 pillars consist of really trying to enhance the global knowledge on national and international recruitment practices, improve laws and policies and enforcement, to promote fair recruitment, of course promoting fair business practices, and empowering and protecting workers. The last one is a very difficult and a challenging one, of course, as you can all imagine. This is a multi-stakeholder initiative, and initially when we were designing this, we wanted it to be a multi-stakeholder initiative because it has to be a multi-stakeholder initiative if it's going to work and have a sustainable impact. And when we say multi-stakeholder, we don't only imply that with partners external or outside of the International Labour Organization, we also mean internally with, for example, the department that deals with migration, because it is a big element of the fair recruitment. And of course, we launched the Fair Recruitment Initiative in 2014, but that doesn't mean that the ILO started to work on fair recruitment in 2014. The organization has been doing this for many years, more specifically in Asia. It goes back to about 15, 18 years ago. So now let's very quickly take a look at the pillars. The first pillar is, of course, enhancing global knowledge on national and international recruitment practices. We have a good idea of fair recruitment looks like, okay? But we need to do more research to better understand the actual process of recruitment, because there is no one, magical model that is used all over the world in every country or across every single border around the world. In fact, fairly soon, on June 24th, with the UNODC, we're organizing an event in Geneva, and we will be launching 3 papers done on regulatory and enforcement models from all over the world, from Canada to Philippines to Thailand. Really, this looks at what are some of the good practices, what has been working, what hasn't been working, because perhaps there is room to see if we can integrate some of these models to improve their efficiency and effectiveness. So that's really the first element of our Fair Recruitment Initiative that we're very keen on moving forward on. The second one is, of course, improving laws, policies, and enforcement to promote fair recruitment. This is, again, extremely important to have actually practical guidance on fair recruitment. Okay, and this also, of course, includes a component on promoting the ratification of our relevant international standards that they already exist. It's not about reinventing the wheel, it's about promoting what is already out there and building based on those models that are already out there. And also doing pilot countries, testing these is also an important element of this, such as working with labor inspectors. We've been working with labor inspectors all over the world, including in Italy, for many years. And one thing that we've noticed is that, for example, when they go to inspect, it's a fantastic opportunity to get information on the recruitment process, but this is a completely missed opportunity because they pose no questions very often on how were you recruited, where were you recruited, how much did you pay? And we think that this information is very, very crucial in trying to better understand what happens in the world, in the real world out there. We're also looking in doing some pilot projects in Jordan, Philippines, Nepal, and Tunisia. Tunisia is a very interesting example because there are about 15, if I'm not mistaken, private employment agencies, and the rest are all public. But these two don't communicate with each other at all. And we think there is a huge room of improvement of trying to coordinate with each other, getting them to speak and help the job seekers to finding a solution to, to placing them, basically. So why do we believe, as the ILO is an effective house to do this, to come up with this fair recruitment initiative and actually lead this with our partners? Our unique structure, which is very unique, is tripartite. We have the workers, employers, and governments, as part of our governing body and deciding on everything that the ILO, the organization, does. That gives us access to the three different groups that need to be involved in this initiative, because without all three, the chances of creating a program or having a real impact, sustainable impact, is very rare. Also, our constituents asked us and mandated us to look into recruitment and come up with the model for a recruitment initiative. I'll read for you, and I quote from the consultation of the tripartite technical meeting on labor migration that took place in November 2013. Our constituents, in collaboration with constituents and GMG members, that's a global migration group, and other stakeholders, developed guidance to promote recruitment practices that respect the principles enshrined in international labor standards, including the Private Employment Agencies Convention 1997, number 181, and identify, document, and promote the exchange of good practices on reducing the financial and human cost of migration. So we actually have also the mandate, our constituents have given us the mandate to look into this and come up with a fair model. The third pillar is, of course, promoting fair business practices, working very closely with our employer organizations, our constituents, as well as our worker constituents. We're looking into mapping existing tools, what is already available out there, creating an online platform for everyone to take advantage of, based, giving them access to international standards and tools and good practices. And of course, supporting and testing models that undertake human rights due diligence in the number of pilot countries. Recently, we hosted a meeting in Jordan with the buyers group to see how we can ensure that, these buyers work with the factories that they contract their production out to in Jordan, can ensure that all the workers were fairly recruited. That's just to give you a real-life example. And the last but not least pillar is empowering and protecting workers. It's basically supporting, good practices of social dialogue mechanisms, making sure that there are ways that workers, if they do find themselves in trouble, they can seek help. And they can actually, if they were really abused, they can have access to remedies. Just to also give you a real-life example, and not just read out the slides for you, because I'm sure you can do that on your own, is very recently in Lebanon, the ILO played an instrumental role in helping out a group of workers that are known to be some of the most vulnerable groups, domestic workers, and organizing them and actually launching a trade union for domestic workers in Lebanon. So that's another example. I thank you very much for your time, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions at the end there may be. This is a link directly to the Fair Recruitment Initiative on the ILO website, so you can find more information there. And I have some brochures, a limited number, to give to the people that are interested. Thank you very much.